Welcome to another week. You guys, it has been crazy, right? I mean, it's all everyone is talking about. So I am going to let you wake up for a minute, come to your breath for a minute, start inhaling and exhaling, and let your mind get off of the world for a minute as we just come and breathe and be still for a little bit. Let's just sit. I'm in hero pose right now, so come into hero pose. I'm just sitting on the top of my feet. Come into a nice, comfortable position. Cradle those hips, maybe move them back and forth a little bit. You can bring your hands to heart center. You can bring them down. Whatever's comfortable, just come here and close your eyes for a moment. Take one nice inhale and an exhale. Again, take an inhale and exhale. Let's just calm the mind. I know with a lot going on, sometimes it's hard. It's hard to come to your breath. It's hard to close your eyes. It's hard to be still. Your body just wants to kind of move, right? And I think the world is healing and in a process of healing from a lot of things right now. And pushing pause on that is so healthy in so many ways, and it can be a challenge. I think it's a little bit exciting. I kind of like a little bit of change every so often. I rearrange my house, furniture all the time because I love change. I love something different. So I am a little bit loving the excitement of something different, something new, and something that our nation can come together as. So wherever you are, whatever that looks like for you, let's just breathe. Let's just breathe right there, right where you are. So inhale and exhale. Keep breathing. We are in the book of Enos. This week we are in Enos, Jerem, Omni, and Words of Mormon. And they're all one chapter each. It's not a very long read. And it's kind of fun to see where the Book of Mormon has been. It's been through all these people. We've been with Nephi and Lehi for a long time, and then it kind of comes down into generations for a little bit. And then in Words of Mormon, it even comes, it skips a lot of years, and then Words of Mormon gets the Book of Mormon. So we're kind of steering away from this genealogy chart of Lehi and Nephi. Which brings us, all the newness, which is fun. The book of Enos, at the very beginning, I wrote prayer. The whole chapter of Enos, the whole book of Enos, since it's one chapter, is all about prayer. Verse 1, it came to pass that I, Enos, knowing my father, right? So his father was Jacob. Verse 3, went to hunt beasts in the forest. And then he stops for a moment and just starts to pray for a long time. And my soul hungered, and I kneeled down before my Maker, and I cried unto him in mighty prayer and supplication for my own soul. So he goes out to hunt these wild beasts. And he goes into, I just picture this. He goes into this big field or big mountain, big place of space, right, where he's actually trying to hunt for food. And all of a sudden, I can just see him kind of feeling this overwhelming feeling of, I can hear my own thoughts. All of a sudden, I can hear silence. I can hear some birds. I can hear, I am out here alone, hunting for food, and all I want to do is just pray because of this silence, this beautiful, like my mind, I can hear my own self, right? And I resonated with that so much, especially this week, because I feel like that's where our world went all of a sudden, our nation went all of a sudden. It's almost like we all came to this place of space in our life. Like somebody just pushed the pause button on everything. And all of a sudden we're in this space of whoa, it's silent. And I can hear my own thoughts. I can hear my own children laughing. And how many of us have felt this and just like, okay, now I'm kind of hungry for like some soul-searching meaning of what this all means. Hence all these memes and all these beautiful written words on social media and the internet talking about how the earth is healing through this, and how we as a people can come together, and the light through this, and the silver linings, and all the service, and how there's so many other meanings to what is all going on, right? And I feel like all of us is just coming to this place for a minute, pausing on life and just thinking, I can hear it, I can feel it, and all I want to do is go deeper into this, right? So I love that. And I just resonated so much with that, of where Enos is right now and where we are right now. So, and then before we go on really fast and talk about all this prayer that's going on in Enos's life, also yoga. Okay. You guys, my mind gets so sucked up in all this goodness of what we can talk about that sometimes I'm like, okay, let's do some yoga, and then I get so enthralled with my yoga practice, and then, okay, it's a balance, right? I'm still learning a lot on how to teach both of these things at the same time. Bring your neck to the side, to the other side. Inhale, center, exhale. Inhale, center, exhale. Inhale, center, bring it back. Inhale, center, exhale, forward. And as you breathe, just roll that neck. We keep a lot of tension in our neck and our shoulders. So we're gonna release some of that since, let's go the other way, since we've been feeling a lot of that with everything going on. So let's just kind of release some tension. Take a couple breaths and just do whatever your neck feels or your shoulder feels like it needs. And as we breathe for a moment, I want you to just kind of hone in on your body and really focus on where you feel the tension. Where is the tension in the neck? And can you maybe stretch that part of the neck a little bit? Breathe into that part of the neck a little bit. That should feel kind of good. Now let's bring our shoulders all the way up to our ears and just stay here. Tense your shoulders, tense your neck. I know that's not what you want to hear right now, right? Tense all the muscles up, contract them, feel what that feels like. Now on your exhale, we're gonna roll them back and down. Exhale all of that tension, let it go. Melt your shoulders down. Just let it go. Okay, again, we're gonna bring those shoulders up. Feel all of that, like there's so much tension there. And then exhale and just roll them down, melt it away. Keep your eyes closed for a minute. Now just roll your shoulders, keep that breath alive, and just do whatever your shoulders need you to do for a minute. Feel your shoulder blades in the back. Feel your pectoral muscles up here that bring your shoulders out in front of you and back. Bring your neck into it, whatever you need. Just kind of release some of that building up right in here. It happens so easily, and a lot of times we don't even know it until we start to move it. The other day, or it was a couple weeks ago, my husband and I were a little bit stressed out about, panic and all the stuff. And all day, I was just tense. I could feel my jaw just clenching like the entire day. And I was scared, and I had been without my children. They were at grandparents for a minute while my husband and I just kind of ran around and helped support some other people that we needed to, and get some extra little food storage things, and but the fact that I was without my children added to all the stress. So I was just missing them and all these things, and my jaw was just so tight. And even days after, when I chewed my food, I would feel my muscles actually being sore from that one day. It was crazy, and I didn't realize that that's what was happening until later that night. I was like, whoa, my jaw hurts. Anyway, my point is, move your body and you will find where the tension is. From here, we're gonna reach our arms all the way up, reach up, gaze up, feel that spine start to really lengthen from the top. Inhale up. And then exhale, grab with your right fingers, grab your left wrist and just stretch that side body. You can come here and stretch it, or for an even deeper stretch, bring that right hand down and stretch to the side. You guys hear that rain? That is so, so pretty. Inhale up. Exhale, left arm down or grabbing the right wrist. Oh, that is so peaceful. I'm like really, really loving that right now. Okay, inhale up. From here now, we're gonna bring our arms back behind us, stretch out our chest, lift the chest, gaze up. This is also a really, really good stretch for those moms who are nursing all the time. Just let your head fall all the way back. It feels so good. And exhale, bring your hands out to the front and around your spine. Really open those shoulder blades. Okay, I wanted to read something from the Come Follow Me manual as kind of an intro into this chapter. It says, that's what sincere prayer is. Not so much asking for anything we want, but a sincere effort to commune with God, to align with our will to His. When you pray in this way, when your voice has reached the heavens, you discover, as Enos did, that God hears you, and He truly cares about you, your loved ones, and even your enemies. In those moments, God can make His will known unto you, and you'll be more willing and able to do His will because you are in harmony with Him. Like Mormon, you may not know all things, but the Lord knoweth all things, and He worketh in you to do according to His will. So we're just going to go on to our tippy toes. And then we're going to bring our knees up and into our chest. And in this pose, your core is always engaged. Okay, so as you bring those knees into your core is being engaged and tightened. We're not just letting it loose and letting it rest on our thighs. We're engaging, we're constricting, and we're bringing these knees up into our chest with that core. And then with your hands, just bring them out in front of you. And then bring your head down and into your knees. Bring your chin down to your chest, like as if you're just curling into a ball, and you'll feel a lot of tension be released. Okay? You guys feel that? Just open your shoulder blades. And then right here with our tippy toes still engaged, our hands on the floor, just straighten those knees and bring your heels down to the floor. So you're kind of in a downward dog, but not so much a V. Your legs are more straight, more like a forward fold. So I'm going to go into this prayer section and talk about Enos and his prayers. And then I'm going to come back into the first 1 through 3 verses, because I really, really love them, and I feel like there's a lot of messages there. Verse 3, we already read. He went to hunt beasts, right? And then verse 4, and my soul hungered, and I kneeled down before my Maker, and I cried unto him. Okay, from here, let's walk our hands outward. This time we are coming into a downward dog. Remember that core is engaged. Our heels eventually want to come down onto the floor, but even if you're here bending your knees, go ahead and take whatever you need to. Breathe, keep that breath alive, and gaze back. And in verse 4, I just want to point out how many times and how many ways he cries in just this verse. My soul hungered, and I kneeled down. So he knelt down, and I cried unto him in my mighty prayer and supplication for my own soul. And all the day long did I cry unto him. And when the night came, I still raised my voice, that it reached the heavens. When we think of prayer, we always kind of think of this perfect bedside, kneeling down, bow our heads kind of prayer, right? And it doesn't always have to be like that. It doesn't always have to look the same the way we pray. From here, with our right hand, we're going to reach back and grab the left outside of the left ankle. We're going to pull our chest towards the left, the left side of our body, and gaze underneath that armpit. It'll test your balance a little bit. And just find that nice stretch in here. You can gaze up, you can gaze out. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale, take the other side. Inhale, back to downward dog. For me, a lot of times, my prayers look like journal writings. I love, love, love to write in my journals, and many times I will just write down my prayer. And it really helps me. Now, with our hands, we're gonna walk back to our feet. And just forward fold. Grab your opposite elbows, let your head hang. Let your body hang. Okay, so verse 4 through 8, he prays all about forgiveness. And then verse 9 through 10 is all about his people, his Nephites. In verse 11 through 12, he prays for his enemies, which are the Lamanites. And he prays for them. Okay, now we're going to come into just bending our knees, coming into Malasana or yogi squat. Bring your elbows to the inside of those thighs, not the knee joint, the thighs. And you can bring your hands to heart center. When we bring to our hands to heart center in this pose, it forces our elbows outward even more and pushes those thighs out. If that doesn't feel good, definitely don't do it. And then verse 13, he prays for the scriptures. These records of his people might be preserved. Straighten your knees out and just stretch here. You can go side to side. You can take a forward fold. Feel where your hips are right now. And also, our tension is stored in our hips and lower back, especially as females. So let's just target all of the areas that we hold all the stress, all the tension, and just roll it out. Inhale and exhale it out. And then it goes on, and he talks about how they have fought with the Lamanites a lot, and just kind of summarizes the story of his people as far as what he has seen from here on out. One thing that Brad Wilcox says is praying alone plus aloud plus a lot equals answers. And it really proves that in this book that he prayed aloud, he prayed a lot, and he prayed alone in this place of space, right? So now we're going to jump back to the beginning of the book, verse 1 through 3. And I just love these verses because it teaches us so many things about parenting. And if you've been through this journey with me from the beginning, you know that I am a mom first and foremost, and I talk a lot about that. And so it really hit me when I read this. His father, he was a just man. He taught, he nurtured, he admonished, meaning like sometimes he kind of pushed them. Sometimes he nurtured them and was soft, and sometimes he kind of pushed them and was a little bit harder. And there was a balance there. And they wrestled before God. And often he heard his father speak concerning both eternal life and joy. How many times do I, as a parent, often speak of eternal life and joy? So cool. And then in verse 2, I will tell you of the wrestle which I had before God. Okay, from here, let's just bring our legs. Let's bring them straight out in front of us. This is really going to open the lower back. Again, a lot of tension. Toes are to the ceiling, our core is engaged, our spine is long. As we forward fold, we're leading with our chest, and at the very end, we're going to exhale and bring our head in towards our chest and gaze down. Relax the body and breathe. I went to a class taught by Sherry Dew, and she talked all about how we wrestle with God. We doubt our doubts before we doubt God. And it's okay. It's okay to have doubts. It's okay to have fears. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to have doubts with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. It's okay to have doubts as we read the scriptures. And what we do with those doubts, when we doubt, is come to our knees. We come wrestle it with God, or we cry out loud, or we come to a place of space, right? Where our soul is just like, I need some answers and I want them, and this is going to help me because I don't understand this, or this. But when we wrestle with God, we create a stronger relationship. I think of it this way. When me and my husband might disagree on something, it does no good to go to somebody else about that. It does all the good to go to my husband about that and talk it out with him. We have a very, very healthy communication in our relationship, and I value that and I honor that. And we've had to train ourselves in how to do that in our marriage specifically. And because of that, now we can come to each other with anything and doubt our doubts in each other with each other. Okay, inhale, come back up, and just come to a nice seated position. Basically, to strengthen any relationship, you get to work on that relationship and you get to struggle with that relationship with that person. If you're struggling with the gospel, go to God. If you're struggling with your marriage, go to your spouse. If you're struggling with your kids, go to your kids. So as we are surrounded by all this unknown and uncertainty, pray. Inhale here and take one last exhale. Bring your hands to heart center. The light in me honors and loves the light within you. Thanks for joining me today. I will see you tomorrow. Namaste.